The Forgotten Planet. The massive crystal dome of Station Harmony floated silently in the void between star systems, its transparent walls reflecting the light of distant suns. Inside the Grand Assembly Hall, representatives from 47 different alien civilizations gathered around a circular amphitheater that could hold thousands. Today's meeting of the Galactic Trade Federation would change the course of history, though none of the assembled delegates knew it yet. Ambassador Veltar of the Zephyrian Empire stood at the center of the hall, his tall, elegant form commanding attention. His silver skin shimmered under the artificial lighting as he gestured toward a holographic display that materialized above the assembly. The image showed a small blue and green planet orbiting a yellow star in what the galactic community considered the outer backwater regions of the galaxy. Honored delegates, Veltar began, his melodious voice carrying easily throughout the hall. I present to you a world of extraordinary opportunity. This planet, which the inhabitants call Earth, represents perhaps the greatest untapped reserve we have encountered in centuries. Murmurs of interest rippled through the assembled crowd. Representatives from the insectoid Cathera collective clicked their mandibles in anticipation, while the gaseous beings of the Nebula Consortium pulsed with colors that indicated excitement. The crystalline harmonics chimed softly among themselves, their mineral bodies resonating with harmonious tones. Veltar continued his presentation, manipulating the hologram to show Earth's continents and oceans. The planet contains vast deposits of rare minerals, abundant fresh water, and a diverse ecosystem that could provide resources for thousands of worlds. The magnetic field is strong, the atmosphere is oxygen-rich, and the gravity is within acceptable parameters for most of our member species. What of the native inhabitants? Asked Counselor Thrix of the arachnoid hegemony, her multiple eyes glinting with curiosity. Surely a world this valuable has developed some form of advanced civilization? Veltar's expression shifted to what passed for amusement among his species. This is where the opportunity becomes even more attractive. The dominant species, calling themselves humans, has barely achieved what we would consider basic space travel. Their most advanced vessels can barely reach their own moon, and even those missions often result in failure. The hologram changed to show images of primitive rocket ships and simple space stations. The assembled delegates watched with a mixture of disbelief and amusement as they observed the crude technology that humanity had managed to develop. Their weapons are chemical-based projectiles and simple explosives. Veltar continued. Their communication systems are electromagnetic signals that they bounce off their planet's atmosphere. Most remarkably, they have yet to develop faster-than-light travel, artificial gravity, or energy shielding. By our standards, they are barely more advanced than the Bronze Age civilizations we occasionally encounter on uncontacted worlds. Representative Korthak of the military caste raised one of his forearms. The massive, bear-like alien's voice rumbled through the hall like distant thunder. How many vessels do they possess for planetary defense? Our long-range scouts report fewer than 200 spacecraft of any kind, Veltar replied, unable to keep the satisfaction from his voice. Most of these are simple research vessels or cargo transports. They have no true military fleet, no orbital defense platforms, and no weapons capable of threatening even our smallest scout ships. The implications were clear to everyone present. A world rich in resources, populated by a species too primitive to defend itself effectively, represented the kind of opportunity that appeared perhaps once in a millennium. The economic benefits alone would transform whichever civilization claimed it first. What is their population? Inquired Senator Malak of the Democratic Worlds Alliance, her tentacles writhing with excitement. Approximately 8 billion individuals, concentrated primarily on the major landmasses, Veltar answered. They appear to be reasonably intelligent and could provide a substantial workforce once properly integrated into galactic civilization. The word integrated hung in the air, with ominous implications. The assembled delegates understood that such integration rarely went well for the species being integrated, but few seemed troubled by this prospect. I propose, Veltar continued, that the Galactic Trade Federation authorize a joint expedition to establish trade relations with this human species. Given their primitive nature, I believe they would be grateful for the technological advancement we could offer them in exchange for access to their world's resources. The vote was swift and unanimous. Within minutes, the Federation had authorized what was officially called a First Contact and Resource Assessment Mission, but which everyone understood to be the preliminary step toward claiming Earth for the galactic community. What none of the delegates knew was that their entire conversation had been monitored and recorded by a device no larger than a grain of sand, hidden within the crystal matrix of the station's hull. The microscopic surveillance probe had been there for over a year, one of thousands that humanity had deployed throughout the galaxy after achieving the very same faster-than-light technology that Veltar claimed they lacked. Far from Station Harmony, in a facility that officially did not exist, buried deep beneath the Atacama Desert on Earth, the transmission from the probe was received and decoded. Lieutenant Colonel Maria Santos read the transcript with a mixture of grim satisfaction and weary resignation. After 50 years of preparation, the moment they had been waiting for had finally arrived. She activated her communication console and sent a priority message that would reach facilities hidden throughout Earth's solar system and beyond. The message was brief but carried enormous weight. Protocol 7 is now active. The masquerade ends tomorrow. On Luna Base, disguised as a simple research outpost studying the moon's geological composition, Commander David Park received the transmission and immediately began activating systems that had been dormant for years. Hidden weapon batteries emerged from beneath false lunar rock formations. Shield generators that had been carefully concealed as scientific instruments began their startup sequences. On Mars, what appeared to be humanity's first and only colony was actually one of the most advanced military installations in the solar system. The 17 people who lived there publicly were actually part of a garrison of over 3,000, most of whom lived in underground facilities that extended for kilometers beneath the planet's surface. In the asteroid belt, mining operations that had been running for decades served their public purpose of extracting valuable minerals. But their secondary function was far more important. The hollowed-out asteroids had been converted into mobile weapons platforms, each one capable of taking on a Federation destroyer single-handedly. Throughout the outer solar system, research probes and communication satellites that had been launched over the past 30 years revealed their true nature. Advanced sensor networks, weapon platforms, and communication relays formed a defensive grid that no alien civilization had ever encountered before. But perhaps most importantly, in shipyards hidden within the gas giant's rings and on the far side of various moons, humanity's true space fleet waited in silence. Over 800 vessels of war, built using technology that the Galactic Trade Federation believed impossible for such a primitive species, prepared to emerge from hiding. But humans had learned long ago that the galaxy was not a friendly place for new civilizations. Their first tentative steps into interstellar space 50 years earlier had been met with hostility and dismissal from established galactic powers. Rather than reveal their growing capabilities, humanity had made a collective decision that would define their species for generations to come. They would hide, they would watch, they would learn, and when the time came, they would be ready. The Galactic Trade Federation was about to discover that sometimes the quiet ones are the most dangerous of all. The Quiet Observer's commander, Sarah Chen, stood in the observation deck of Terra Observatory, watching the sunrise paint Earth's horizon in brilliant shades of gold and crimson. To anyone observing from space, the facility appeared to be nothing more than an astronomical research station orbiting Earth at a comfortable distance. The reality was far different. Terra Observatory was the nerve center of humanity's most ambitious project, a comprehensive surveillance and defense network that had been under development for half a century. Sarah had been part of this project for 23 years, ever since graduating from the Naval Academy with degrees in both astrophysics and military strategy. Commander, called Dr. James Liu from his position at the central console, we're receiving confirmation signals from all monitoring stations. The Federation fleet is assembling in the Proxima sector, approximately 47 light-years from Earth. Sarah nodded, her expression remaining calm despite the magnitude of what was approaching. The Galactic Trade Federation had taken the bait completely, believing that Earth was a primitive world ripe for exploitation. What they didn't realize was that humanity had been preparing for this moment since their first encounter with alien intelligence decades ago. "How many ships are they bringing?" Sarah asked, moving to stand behind Dr. Liu's workstation. "Long-range sensors indicate approximately 400 vessels," Liu replied, manipulating his displays to show the gathering fleet. "Mostly medium, cruisers and cargo ships with about 50 heavy combat vessels for intimidation purposes. They're planning for a show of force, not a real battle." "Perfect," Sarah murmured. "The more confident they are, the bigger the surprise will be." The story of humanity's secret preparation began 53 years earlier, when Dr. Elizabeth Reeves detected the first artificial signals from beyond the solar system. Unlike the celebrations that the public witnessed, the initial alien contact had been far from friendly. The first alien vessel to reach Earth had been a scout ship from the Cathara Collective, and its crew had made their intentions clear. Earth was considered a primitive world suitable for colonization, and humanity was viewed as nothing more than a potential labor force. That first contact had ended abruptly when the alien scout ship suffered what appeared to be a catastrophic engine failure and crashed into the Pacific Ocean. What the aliens never learned was that the crash had been caused by an electromagnetic pulse generated by one of humanity's experimental defense satellites. Dr. Reeves and her team had managed to recover significant portions of alien technology from the wreckage. Yes, recovered technology had been a revelation. Faster than light travel, energy weapons, advanced materials science, artificial intelligence systems far beyond anything humans had developed. It was all there, waiting to be reverse engineered and improved upon. The Global Defense Initiative had been established 6 months later, funded secretly by every major nation on Earth. The public continued to see a world focused on environmental challenges and social development, while in reality, humanity's greatest minds were working tirelessly to prepare for the day when the aliens returned. "Status report from the outer perimeter," announced Lieutenant Commander Anna Volkov from her communication station. "Captain Rodriguez reports that the Phantom Fleet is ready for deployment. All vessels are maintaining silent running protocols. Sarah." Smiled slightly. The Phantom Fleet was humanity's ace in the hole, a collection of advanced starships that had been built using a combination of human ingenuity and reverse-engineered alien technology. The ships were constructed in facilities, hidden within asteroids on the far sides of planets and in the depths of gas giant atmospheres. Each vessel was capable of performance that would shock the Galactic Trade Federation. "What about our surface installations?" Sarah asked. "All green across the board," Volkov replied. "Luna Base reports full readiness. Mars Command is standing by, and the asteroid belt defense grid is online and tracking incoming signals." Dr. Liu looked up from his console with excitement in his eyes. "Commander, we're receiving detailed intelligence from Agent Patterson on Station Harmony. The Federation delegates have no idea that we've been monitoring their communications for over a year." Agent Patterson was one of humanity's most valuable assets, a human who had undergone surgical modification to pass as a member of a minor alien species, allowing him to move freely within Federation space. His reports had provided invaluable intelligence about alien capabilities, intentions, and most importantly, their complete underestimation of human potential. "What's the Federation's timeline?" Sarah asked. "They're planning to arrive in our solar system within 72 hours, Liu replied. "Ambassador Veltar has convinced them that this will be a simple show of force followed by negotiations. They expect humanity to surrender immediately once they see the size of their fleet." Sarah activated her personal communication device and connected to a secure channel that reached facilities across Earth and throughout the solar system. "All stations, this is Terra Observatory Command. Execute Phase 1 protocols immediately. Begin moving our assets into position." Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden defenses began to stir. On Earth's moon, what appeared to be a simple research base began revealing its true nature. Weapons turrets emerged from beneath artificial craters, shield generators powered up for the first time in decades, and launch bays opened to reveal squadrons of fighter craft that officially didn't exist. Dr. Rebecca Walsh, the head of Luna Base, watched her screens as systems that had been carefully maintained but never fully activated came online one by one. "All departments report ready," she announced to her team. "After 50 years of preparation, we're finally going to show the galaxy what humanity is really capable of." Similar scenes were playing out across human space. On Mars, Colonel Michael Torres supervised the activation of the planet's true defensive capabilities. The 17-person research colony that the public knew about was actually covering for a massive military installation that extended deep into the planet's crust. Hundreds of personnel who had officially been conducting geological surveys were actually operating some of the most advanced military technology in the galaxy. In the asteroid belt, mining operation supervisors received coded messages that transformed their facilities from simple extractors into mobile weapons platforms. The asteroids had been carefully hollowed out over decades, filled with weapons systems, shield generators, and propulsion units that could turn each one into a formidable battleship when needed. Captain Elena Rodriguez commanded the flagship of the Phantom Fleet from her position in the bridge of the UES Defiance. The ship hung silently in the shadow of Jupiter's moon Europa, its stealth systems making it invisible to any scanning technology the Federation possessed. Around her, 49 other vessels waited in similar concealment throughout the outer solar system. "All ships report ready for combat operations," announced her tactical officer, Lieutenant Commander Chen Wei. "Power levels at maximum, weapons, systems armed, and stealth fields holding steady." "Excellent," Rodriguez replied. "Signal Terra Observatory that Phantom Fleet is ready to execute Protocol 7 on their command." Back on Terra Observatory, Sarah Chen was coordinating the greatest military deception in human history. For 50 years, humanity had maintained the illusion of being a primitive species barely capable of reaching their own moon. They had carefully managed every piece of information that alien scouts could gather, showing them only outdated technology and limited capabilities. The truth was that human technology had advanced far beyond what the Galactic Trade Federation possessed. The combination of human creativity and reverse-engineered alien technology had produced weapons, shields, and propulsion systems that were generations ahead of anything the Federation used. More importantly, humanity had used their time wisely, building a defensive network that turned their entire solar system into an impregnable fortress. "Commander," Dr. Liu called out, "we're detecting the first Federation scout ships entering the outer edge of our monitoring zone. They're still 48 hours away from Earth, but our early warning systems have them tracked." "Perfect," Sarah replied. "Let them come. Let them see exactly what they expect to see. A primitive world, with basic defenses and no real military capability. The longer they remain confident, the more complete their surprise will be." She activated the ship-wide communication system that connected Terra Observatory to every human facility in space. "All stations, this is command. The Federation fleet is approaching. Maintain all masquerade protocols until I give the word. Let them come close enough to see Earth clearly. Let them feel confident in their superior numbers and technology. Then we'll show them what happens when you underestimate humanity." The greatest reveal in galactic history was about to begin, and humanity was ready to step out of the shadows and claim their place among the stars.